Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I am Jake and it is so great to be here again. This is probably my first proper video I've done that's not a live, so I just want to get straight into it. I've already done an introduction video earlier today, which you can go and watch, but this is just kind of a talk about Mental Health Awareness Week because it's been and gone, and the question is, what now? I don't know what now. Nothing seems to have happened now. And that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. So make sure you like and subscribe and let's get right into it. So Mental Health Awareness Week was run by the Mental Health Foundation. It was the 13th to the 19th of May. And the theme of this year was body image. How we think, feel about our bodies. I posted a lot, pretty much a blog post today, Monday to Friday, and a massive roundup post, which you can see on the website linked in the description below as well. But now that's ended, we're a week on, pretty much. Tomorrow is a week on since Mental Health Awareness Week ended. And what now is the question I want to ask. Because the brands and businesses and large companies, organisations, who are actually tweeting about Be Body Kind and MHAW, the two buzz hashtags, as it were, that were going around, have all stopped. They're not talking about this anymore. And nor is anyone else. And that kind of, it's like we've put a use by date on it. It's like Mental Health Awareness Week is just that use by date, and now it's gone off. It's no good to talk about. We just need to throw it out and wait until we buy a new one, which will be whenever the next Mental Health Awareness Week is. We're just putting this use by date on it. But why? Why are we doing that when mental health never leaves us? It's that guest that always stays. It doesn't just confine itself to the weeks which we dedicate to mental health. Just because we say this week is a mental health week doesn't mean that mental health will only affect us in that week. It happens for the remaining 51 weeks of the year as well. It doesn't just go away. So why do the conversations? Well, as a marketer, I can answer this from a business's perspective. It's not good for talking about anymore because no one else is. If you're a business owner or you run a business, why would you talk about mental health when it's not trending? You want to be talking about what your customers are talking about, what your business is talking about, what the trending hashtags are. You want to be talking about those things, not mental health. That's only when it's trending. So where does that leave the rest of us then? If you're like me, we've been shown this glimmer of hope. We've been invited to engage in conversations. We've been shown this kind of process of change that was started with companies saying, yes, we'll take action. We'll stop showing unhealthy body image adverts. We'll start regulating how we negatively stereotype people's bodies. But that was only for the week. Now no one's talking about those things anymore. They've all moved on. Mental health has just gone off. What are we meant to do then if you're just an individual like me? How are we meant to talk about things when no one else is? I don't start conversations about my mental health most of the time when I'm offline. I think we're getting a lot better with answering them. So if someone says, are you okay? We're moving away from, yeah, I'm fine, as a kind of passing it off, as every person with mental health will know exactly what I'm talking about here. And moving away to, actually, mate, I'm not feeling too good. I'm worried. I'm feeling sad. You talk about those things more, but do you go up to someone and say, like I did in my last video linked up there, when we go up to people, do we say, hi, I'm Jake, I have mental health problems, I'm not having a good day today, how are you? I don't really think that's a great conversation starter. And I don't know many people. Let me know in the comments. Would you ever do that? Yes or no? Let me know. But if we can't go and start those conversations, and no one else is then providing those conversations for us, we can't talk at all. Which means everything for Mental Health Awareness Week just goes to waste. And all the work the content creators, some of which were featured in the roundup post, have done, just goes. It disappears. It's gone now. But it can't be like that, because mental health isn't like that. Mental health affects us 52 weeks of the year, whether there's an awareness day or not. So You're probably thinking now, let's have more awareness days. Let's just make every single day a mental health day. If you've been following this on Twitter, you'd notice that there are many people that say isn't every day a mental health day anyway. And no, awareness days are not the answer, because simply having more awareness isn't going to change that much, because we'll get to the point where everyone has 100% awareness on everything, which is impossible because there are so many new and under-researched mental health conditions. Normally with awareness, we focus on anxiety, depression, there's bipolar awareness, there is eating disorders awareness. There's awareness days for other conditions as well, but no one talks about those because no one really knows about them. You might have not even heard of Bipolar Awareness Day, which is on the 30th of March. And it's like we have to have everything on an awareness day, and we can only talk about it on those days. Mental health advocates like me obviously talk about mental health a lot, but for the rest of us, everyone seems to only gravitate talking about things, especially on the online world, on those days. So simply having more awareness days, we can't talk about everything all of the time. So that won't change anything, because awareness needs to lead to action, and action needs to last longer than the awareness day. The awareness week isn't meant to have a use by date. It's not meant to be something where, okay, so on the 13th of May, we're going to start by talking about body image. On the 19th of May, we're going to stop talking about body image. All mental health awareness weeks are trying to do is to create a start point, create conversation, engage us, make us think about what's going on. Actually, let us consider ourselves, see if we're going through something, seeing if we have a friend who is, giving us a designated week to start conversations. But just because the week or the day is over doesn't mean we should stop those conversations. We're meant to continue what happens from mental health awareness weeks or days all across the rest of the year. That's how it's effective. That's how it makes a difference. It's the starting the conversations that we then go on and continue. And so often we just forget about it. For instance, eating disorders awareness week, which I believe was February, March time, I haven't spoken about eating disorders since then at all. I touched on anorexia for body image on this theme, but if that wasn't the theme and the theme was, say, stress this year, I wouldn't have spoken about eating disorders until probably the next Eating Disorders Awareness Week. And it's this kind of habit we form of only talking about things when there is an awareness week, when mental health affects us all the time, which kind of reduces the effect of it, because we have awareness, we know about these things, and we're getting better at that. And that's not what we need. We don't need more awareness, because just simply knowing about something isn't going to make a difference. It's about knowing about it and doing something. So even if we are all 100% aware of it, we still need to do something. We need to act. So many of us. No idea. This is my first YouTube video, guys. I'm going to leave all the mistakes in so you guys can see how I improve. So many of us actually don't talk enough about our mental health, because it kind of creates a stigma when the week ends. So, for example, when people start talking about body image outside Mental Health Awareness Week, some of the comments are, "Aren't we done with that now? Wasn't that last week?" Like when I posted the roundup post, people are like, "Wasn't that last week?" And yes, it was. But I deliberately posted the roundup post yesterday, a week on from Mental Health Awareness Week, because the conversation needs to continue. We have to keep talking. If you take anything away from this video today, it's keep talking, keep the conversations going, because change won't happen in a week. It's impossible to make the changes to social media and advertising regulators for body image, just using this as an example. But it's impossible to make those changes in a week. We need to keep the conversations going so those changes actually happen. It's no good talking about things for a week and then forgetting about it. We must keep talking. We must keep having the actions that, not the awareness, but the actions. It's not good just like, okay guys, it's eating disorders awareness week. Eating disorders are good. Eating disorders we need to talk about more. It's how are you going to talk about it more? Not just saying, oh, right, oh, mental health awareness. It's how are you going to talk about it more? So that's probably quite a negative first section, especially for a first video. So now I want to tell you how you can act. How you can put the action and why we need the action. You know we need action now. And I'm now going to tell you how you can act. So the first thing, obviously, is talk to someone. But don't just be like, hi, it's Mental Health Awareness Week. How is your mental health? That is a starting point. But keep those conversations going. Keep asking those questions. Keep checking in. I'm not saying hound someone every hour or every day with a text message. How are you today? Are you struggling with your mental health? Keep it friendly. Keep it human. People with mental health issues are humans first and foremost. If they are your friends, they are your friends first and foremost. If they are your family, they are family first and foremost. If they are your work colleagues or your peers, if they are anyone, they are who they were before you knew they had mental health problems first and foremost. They are the human that just has this added layer of problems. They are not the problems. And just talk to them normally, humanly, but just check in with them, not just for the week, but just keep checking in, making sure they're okay, asking if there's anything you can do to help. And if you are receiving those text messages or you need to start a conversation, when someone says, are you okay? Don't just say, yes, I'm fine. Actually say, well, no, it was body image awareness week the other week. Well, I'm still kind of struggling with that. Can I talk to you about it? I need someone to talk to. Say something like that. You can still continue the conversations after the awareness week. That's why they matter throughout the year, not just for a week. The second thing is obviously a bit more. This is not for everyone, but it's petitions and complaints. That was something suggested by the Mental Health Foundation, is reporting adverts to the Advertising Standards Agency. And there's also a lot of petitions for change on certain websites, change.org and the other one, which I can't think of. I'll link them in the description below. But they are great places to go to actually get kind of your voice heard. It's, if you don't know anyone with mental health issues, which is unlikely when it affects 1 in 4 of us, but you can still get your voice heard. You can still make a difference. Even if you don't have a platform like me to speak on, being on like social media, even on YouTube, on a website, you can still have your voice heard. You can still make a difference. So sign them, create them. If you see an injustice, speak up about it, because awareness doesn't have to be in the confines of a week. It can be throughout the year, and it needs to be. My third tip for you guys, well, not really tip, but thing you can do. These aren't really tips, guys. The thing you can do, and this is more for content creators, is just keep checking back into the conversation. This is something I need to do more. But we've been talking about body image now. We've been talking about eating disorders. We've been talking about Stress Awareness Month in April. Just keep checking back in. If you're, say, tweeting out and you've been tweeting about body image, if you've been tweeting about eating disorders or something like that, just keep checking back in outside of the awareness week. Just be like, oh, hi, guys, that we were talking about Mental Health Awareness Week the other week. I just wanted to check in with you. How is your body image? Just DM me if you're struggling. Just let me know how I can help. If you're a mental health advocate and you normally say that more generally, niche it down, link back to the Mental Health Awareness Week. Equally, if you have spoke about Mental Health Awareness Week, but from a kind of non-mental health advocate perspective, so as a brand, a business, an individual just tweeting like a quote out for the day, just at a time that suits you when you've got a bit of free time, just say, hey everyone, when I posted that thing for Mental Health Awareness Week, I know it's not something we usually talk about, but mental health is important. So how can I today give you a quote, give you a blog post, do something that you did for the awareness week during just not in the awareness week. Just keep linking back to it. And I'm not saying everyone needs to be talking about mental health all the time, and all our feeds should be filled with mental health, because shoving it down people's throats isn't the answer. I'm not sitting here and saying we all need to talk about mental health. Everyone must be careful and walk on eggshells and mind their language and follow every single mental health tip out there. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if you have spoke about mental health week, just keep bringing it back up once in a while, because mental health doesn't go away, so the conversation shouldn't either. And that is probably my fourth and final tip. Mental health doesn't go away, but the conversation shouldn't either. And there we go. This was my first video, guys, so please be nice in the comments, and make sure you like and subscribe. Also, if you do need to DM me at any time, please do. I'm completely open to that. Mental health advocate, I really do care. I'm not just doing it because I get paid. I actually make nothing from my mental health blog or any of my kind of mental health stuff at all, and that's deliberately designed because I don't profit from mental health. I do that through my digital content. So just wanted to be completely transparent in that for a first video. Obviously, I'm not going to dredge up all the legal and kind of mandatory privacy policies or anything like that here. This is YouTube after all. But just DM me if you need me. Leave a comment. Also, suggest new videos because I'm not really sure what to put here. So just give me some ideas, guys. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the live. I'll see you all tomorrow at 7 UK time for the live. In a bit.